Taylor Swift is a link builder. There were rumours that she would get engaged. Our client said, let's give them a free wedding venue. And then we got them 50 links. That's digital PR.
Managing multiple clients or large websites? Automate your SEO with Ali AI. Start your free trial now.
Wix Studio, one end-to-end web creation platform for your agency to deliver exceptional work with absolute efficiency.
Please, if anyone else wants to chat about stuff like that, come talk to me. So my talk is, where's your head at? Now, I don't know if we've got any Basement Jaxx fans in at the moment, but it's a very, very weird music video. So please do go and watch it. But it does need some slight editing. So my talk is where's your head at? So what I'm going to be talking about is how to optimize the head for SEO success. So why do we even care about the head? Well, what if I told you that it had the key to unlocking super fast site speed? So we all aware of Core Web Vitals. So looking at 3 different metrics, a bit of a proxy score of how a user is going to be interacting. We've got a new metric in the middle, INP, which was previously first input delay. But for this specific talk, we're going to just look at one metric, which is the LCP, which is the loading time, essentially. So why should you even care? So if you increase conversions for every 100 milliseconds, so that's 0.1 of a second, you can increase conversion rate by 1.3%. So what does this mean? An increase in conversions means an increase in revenue. So, for example, here's some organic traffic. Here's your average conversion rate and your average order value. So if you were to just increase the conversion rate a little bit, the same stats, you would get an increase in revenue of £4,140. So that's equal even more when you're looking at, £2,500 extra. And the great thing about this is the impact scales. So it's not just affecting organic traffic. Every single person that comes onto the site is getting the impact of the increased conversion rate. So you're making even more money with the same. So that's equal to a £15,000 increase, and you can attribute that to a task that you've done for SEO. So a nice little extra £10,000 per month based off of their previous stats. So this is what stakeholders like to see. So hopefully we'll now be best buddies with our stakeholders. But red alert, we actually come across some roadblocks. So anybody who works in technical SEO has to go through a development team usually to try and get all of these changes that we want actually done. So some of those challenges, you've not got direct communication, you've got to go through a client, you've got minimal SEO resource for SEO fixes for dev. And our lovely SEO tickets are just not prioritized. So all of the other work gets done first. SEO is usually the bottom of the list. Hey, so you don't need good luck, where you can just go through. So what I'm going to show you now is you don't need any coding knowledge. We can do this with minimal development resource, and we can show the business value to a company with this. So I'm going to show you how you can do your thing. So this is what we want, ideally. Never happens because this is usually what we get. A nice 8, lovely, great to start with. So I'm going to go through how the render process works, some elements, and how to optimize this and the impact. So Why should you care? So actually, the head is full of really high priority SEO stuff. There's lots of good things in there. And Google needs to be able to find and read this information. So how does this render process work? Let's just briefly go through that. So this is the process that Google takes to taking your URL and indexing it and serving it to people. So we're going to take a little step in this just before the indexing process. So these are the steps that a browser needs to be able to go through to be able to show you a web page. First, it's got to parse the HTML. So it's got to go line by line, looking at the code and processing that. Then it's got to fetch all of our external resources. So when you say, we need to download this file, this CSS file from the site, it needs to go and do that. You say, hey, we need to download this script. So, and here's where we need to download it from. It processes all that information, fetches all of the resources ready for the page. So then it'll need to parse the CSS. So this is how it looks, styled, taking that content and making it look good. Then it needs to execute any JavaScript that you've told it to run, because you can change a lot of content with JavaScript. So instead just having a plain H1, after we can change that using JavaScript, it's so different to something different. And then it has to build the render tree, construct the layout, and essentially looks like this. Puts everything in a kind of tree to understand when and where it needs to paint that image. And then it needs to paint this layout. So actually making it look how we would expect, styled. So it says, hey, we need to draw a rectangle here. We need to put this in first. And then this color needs to be used for this background. So, and it will go down and process all that information. So this is a bit of a render path. So how does it actually go from that? So it goes through this nice little chart. But when the HTML parser actually finds a script tag, it finds this and it pauses to load, execute, do all the things that I've just said it needed to do. And this is generally what our website had looked like. So JavaScript, here's some more scripts, here's all of our other stuff. So if any step changes something in this render process, the browser has to go right back to the start. Hey, you've actually done some new JavaScript, it's got to go back to the beginning and have a look at what happens now because some content has changed. So what can happen is it can get stuck in this loop of parsing, pulling this out, executing scripts, then, it's got to go back to the beginning and redo the process after every piece of information it finds. So it's a bit like snake and ladders. So you think you've done a good roll, you've gotten to the top, and then you slip back down again and you've got to start from the bottom. And Harry Rowe said the head is the single largest render blocking part of a web page. So, as I mentioned, the head has got all of our high priority SEO stuff in there. So, what elements are we talking about here? So we've got our lovely canonicals, title tags, meta descriptions, robots text, hreflang, structured data, all of our nice things. So I'm going to show you how we can optimize that so it's got both benefits. So let's go through the process. So briefly, here are the steps. You can take a picture if you would like, but I will be going through them one by one.
Let's see.
So you're going to need two tools. We have DevTools, we know and love her, and the Capo Chrome extension. So it looks like this on the Dev Store. I'll put these slides in so you've got those links later. And we're going to need to first start benchmarking. So let's run some Lighthouse scores. Open into the DevTools, run our audit, and get our first piece of information about the vitals that we're looking at. So Again, trying to focus on largest contentful paint here, but also first contentful paint has a similar kind of effect there. So we're going to open Capo, going to your extensions, and you click on it. And it will come up with a very weird box of things. Now, what does that actually mean? So the first line is the actual head order that is on the site right then. And then it will show you a sorted version where it is in order. So you're not waiting at any point. So there's this render blocking part where it gets stuck. It moves everything so it doesn't have to keep repeating itself when it comes across a script or something that it needs to then change and go back to that previous step. So if you go into your console, it will actually show you the information there. And then we can go to the sorted head order section. And if you scroll to the bottom, there is a nice sorted head element, and you can just right click and copy that. So yeah, we want to copy that element. And what we're going to do is we're going to paste it into a code editor, text editor somewhere. Now, we do have to wait because what about all of our other important stuff? So this is the optimal head order for rendering from Harry Roberts. But we've got all of our high priority SEO stuff that we need to move around. It's like our meta tags. So here's a slightly tweaked version for SEO and speed prioritized orders. Put in the main information, so title tag, very key thing. You want Google to be able to see that. First off, chronicles, hreflang, you want it to be able to understand all of these really key parts to rank your site. So we're going to move, all we need to do is copy and paste. We just need to find the title, move it to the top, find everything else and move it to that space to be able to make sure those key bits of information are read. And now what we can do is we can test the impact. So there's this thing called local overrides. Now this is a really great post by Debug Bear, which goes through the process, but I will speed through it now for you. So obviously open up our dev tools. Then we need to click on the sources tab, and there is a button that says overrides. Now we want to do that, and we need to select a folder because we're replacing a piece of code with something that's on our machine. So set up your folder, you can call it what you want. I'd call it test head here to just, and then it will need to grant access. So give it access, we'll let it have everything. So why not this? And we go to our page tab. So generally it's the first one that's on the list because it's the main page. Or if it's not that one, just go through some of the files and find the one that actually has your head section in there. And then click Save for Overrides. So there'll be a purple dot. That means that it's now served locally. So all edits that you're doing is coming directly from your computer. So what we're going to do now, we're just going to plug it in, and we're going to put our new optimized head into the site and replace what is there currently. So we need to delete the head content and paste in our new and improved head content, and then we're going to save that, Control-S, and bosh, reload the page. We're going to go in, rerun our Lighthouse audit, and we'll find some new Core Web Vital scores, so we can actually see the improvements of those. So what is the actual impact on site speed? So let's test it. So we've rerun Lighthouse, and we've got some new metrics. Now, bearing in mind, they are still red. We can't have everything. It's not going to be massive, but an improvement's an improvement. 16 seconds versus 24 seconds for the largest content to appear for someone. It's not breaking any speed barriers, but, better than it was. And we've gone from red to yellow, so we'll take it. And now we need to estimate that revenue. So, that's the main thing that they want to know. Why should we do it? Because it's actually going to make you some money. So going back to our stat, 1.3% increase in conversions. So I've got some new figures for us. So here's some stuff. All this is organic traffic. This is only just one part. So let's say that was your current conversion rate, 0.73. Pretty terrible, but hey. A 2-second increase, let's make that into milliseconds. So that's 2,000. So that's 20 times. So we do some multiplication. It's a 23% increase in conversion rate. Now, it's still a very small section, but, you've got a new conversion rate now, and you can say this is an increase of 25 orders. Therefore, it's going to bring in, based off of average order value, an extra £2,000 in additional revenue. So you'll be able to serve up some quick and tasty site speed improvements to your stakeholders. Thank you.
Monthly reporting making you want to shove sharp things up your nose? Try Dragon Metrics, the all-in-one SEO software with mind-blowing reporting tools.